I have only come here for 5 minutes. I have come as a president of the Republic of Uganda, and also I am speaking as a great man who is the conqueror of the British Empire.
In the heart of Africa, a man rose to power, leaving a trail of blood, terror, and destruction in his wake. He was ruthless, cunning, and brutal. Idi Amin Dada, a self-proclaimed messiah who ruled Uganda with an iron fist, crushing any opposition and slaughtering hundreds of thousands of his own people. His appetite for human flesh was legendary, with reports of him feasting on the flesh of his enemies. This is the story of Idi Amin, a man who embodied the darkest aspect of human nature and left an indelible mark on the world. He would call himself His Excellency, President for Life, Field Marshal El Ajir Dr. Idi Amin Dada, VC, DSO, MC, Lord of all the beasts of the earth and fishes of the sea, and conqueror of the British Empire in Africa in general and Uganda in particular. Idi Amin Dada, according to sources, was born in 1928 to a Kakwa father and a Lugbara mother in Koboko, Uganda. From a young age, he was driven to succeed, fueled by his ambition and charisma. "I am a man of unwavering ambition," he would later declare. "I will stop at nothing to achieve my objectives." In 1946, Idi Amin enlisted in the King's African Rifles of the British Colonial Army as a cook. He quickly rose through the ranks, distinguishing himself as a skilled and fearless soldier. Amin's experiences in the army took him to various parts of Africa, including Kenya, where he participated in the suppression of the Mau Mau uprising. Despite his increasing military influence, Idi Amin soon faced allegations of brutality. In 1962, after a mission to root out cattle thieves, reports emerged that Idi Amin and his men had committed human rights abuses. The victims had been tortured, beaten to death, and in some cases buried alive. British authorities in Nairobi launched an investigation, exhuming the bodies and gathering evidence. However, Idi Amin's career continued to flourish, with Uganda nearing independence from the British. Prime Minister Milton Obote decided not to persecute Idi Amin. Instead, Obote promoted him and sent him to the UK for further military training. This move proved to be a strategic mistake, as Idi Amin would eventually turn against Prime Minister Obote. In 1964, Amin and Obote formed a lucrative alliance rooted in an expansion of the Ugandan army and various clandestine operations. However, Obote's abuse of power will soon upset other Ugandan leaders, including King Metusa II of Buganda. As tension escalated, Obote promoted Idi Amin to major in 1963 and to colonel in 1964. In 1966, the Uganda parliament charged Idi Amin with misappropriating $350,000 worth of gold and ivory. In response, Amin's forces arrested the 5 ministers who raised the issue, and Obote suspended the constitution, appointing himself president of Uganda. 2 days later, Idi Amin was put in charge of Uganda's entire military and police force. Amin's power grew and he became increasingly ruthless. In 1971, he seized control of the government in a military coup, forcing President Obote into exile. Ugandans were initially enthusiastic about Idi Amin's takeover, seeing him as a charismatic leader who genuinely cared about the country. People danced in the streets as Amin shook hands, posed for pictures, and danced traditional dances with commoners. However, Idi Amin's rule quickly turned brutal. He ordered the expulsion of 500 Israelis and 50,000 South Asians with British citizenship, leading to a dramatic economic downturn. The expulsion also had a devastating impact on Uganda's social fabric, as many Asian Ugandans were forced to flee their homes and businesses.
But I must make it absolutely truth. The reason why I chased them from Uganda was because of the economy of Uganda. Uganda was going to be bankrupt. That is the reason why I chased away the Israelis.
And you said you were friends with Golda Meir.
Yes, because she used to give me very good entertainment when I go to Israel.
Then you changed completely from an Israeli alliance to the Arab alliance.
I changed from Israeli alliance because Israeli are criminals and that they are not trusted people. They don't tell the world the truth. They were taken to Palestine as refugees, and then they changed Palestine to become a state of Israel by force of arms given to them by Americans and the British.
Actually, I took this decision for the economy of Uganda, and I must make sure that every Ugandans get a fruit of independence. Since actually Uganda is not yet independent, I will say that, even when the British handed over on the 9th of October 1962, the Uganda still not yet independent. Uganda will be independent after this, my decision, after I want to see that the whole Kampala street is not full of Indians. It must be proper black, and administration in those shops is run by the Ugandans.
Would you like to get all Asians out, really, sir?
Yes, they must go to their country.
Even nationals of Uganda?
If they want to go, they are welcome to go.
What will happen to these people if they don't go by the time limit?
I think they will be sitting like they are sitting on the fire. I will tell you this. You just wait after 3 months.
What will you do to them?
Okay, you will see.
You said you wanted Uganda.
I think they will not sit comfortable here in Uganda. I will tell you this. I must actually tell you the truth.
As Amin's regime grew more erratic and repressive, his international image began to sour. By the mid-1970s, he had become notorious for his human rights abuses, including the murder of tens of thousands of Ugandans. Rumors spread that he kept human heads in his refrigerator and even confessed to cannibalism on several occasions. Idi Amin's destructive method continued to escalate. In 1977, he ordered the killings of notable Ugandans, including Archbishop Junani and Interior Minister Charles Obote. When the British severed diplomatic ties with Uganda, Idi Amin proclaimed himself the conqueror of the British Empire. He called himself His Excellency President for Life, Field Marshal L.A.J. Dr. Idi Amin, VC, DSO, MC, CBE, lord of all the beasts of the earth and fishes of the sea, and conqueror of the British Empire in Africa in general and Uganda in particular. However, Idi Amin's title could not save him from the deteriorating economy. Prices for coffee, Uganda's main export, plummeted in the 1970s. In 1978, the US stopped trading with Uganda altogether, dealing a devastating blow to the country's economy. With his hold on power weakening, Idi Amin launched a desperate invasion of Tanzania in October 1978. However, Tanzanian forces fought back, and Idi Amin was eventually overthrown. On April 11, 1979, Tanzania and exiled Uganda soldiers captured Uganda's capital, Kampala, marking the end of Idi Amin's Dada reigns of terror. Idi Amin fled to Libya, then Saudi Arabia, where he lived in exile until his death in 2003. In the end, the brutal dictator brought economic ruin, social unrest, and oversaw the murders of up to 500,000 of people. There is no denying that his nickname, the Butcher of Uganda, was well earned. As we look to the future, it is essential that we preserve and protect our cultural heritage, including the history and artifacts of our ancestors. These incredible stories serve as a reminder of our shared history, cultural identity, and ingenuity of our ancestors. Join me in celebrating the rich cultural heritage of Africa. Subscribe to my channel for more documentaries and share this video with your friends and family. Together, let's preserve our cultural legacy for future generations.